Conquering binge eating is one thing. Staying binge-free is a whole other ballgame. Having a few really good days with food is different than going months without binging. Managing your urges is different than no longer feeling a single urge to binge. Feeling good in your own skin here and there, depending on what you ate, depending on the day, depending on what you've eaten, is different than feeling amazing and confident in your own skin no matter what you've eaten, no matter what you're wearing, no matter how you feel that day. There's a very big difference. And in today's conversation, I really want to talk about what it actually takes to sustainably conquer binge eating for life. Because if you are here, I am sure that you want to do things sustainably, right? It's like you've done the diets, you've done the quick fixes, you've done the intermittent fasting, you've done the keto, like that's all great. And now you're ready to actually work on your relationship with food. You're actually ready to do things sustainably. You're not interested in a few good days with food. Like, sure, you've had that, right? Like anybody can have a few good days with food here and there. But it takes a certain level of strategy and mindset to have the confidence to know that you can spend the rest of the year not binging. Anybody can have a few good days with their body image. Today I feel confident. Oh, this dress looks really good on me. But it takes, again, a certain level of confidence, strategy, and mindset to feel incredible in your own skin all the time. Regardless of what you just ate, regardless if you're on vacation, you're in a bathing suit, regardless, no matter what stage of life you're in. I did not get here, meaning feeling super confident in my own skin, easily stopping when I'm full, never feeling an urge to binge. I didn't get here by doing a 30-day challenge. I didn't get here 5 years binge-free by doing a self-paced course. I didn't get here by not giving in to my urges once. I didn't get here by staying positive one time after I've overeaten. I got here 5 years binge-free with the most effortless relationship with food, feeling amazing in my own skin without spending hours in the gym, without saying no to chocolate, without tracking my food, because I got the right support. I was consistently working on my mindset. I've rewired my brain to eliminate my urges. And I had the mindset of I am going to conquer. I am going to do things sustainably. If you want to sustainably stop your binge eating, you can't do something in a quick fix way and expect yourself to have long-term results. If you want long-term results, meaning you can go months without binging, years without binging, a 30-day challenge isn't a match. right? It's like, I want to be binge free for the rest of my life, but I'm only going to commit to 30 days. It doesn't match. I never did a 30-day challenge expecting myself to end a 10-year battle with food. I spent 10 years of my life. Many of you guys know my story. I grew up as a competitive dancer. And when I was in grade 8, somebody had called me fat. And that's when my dieting history began. And that's when I started doing, keto, and I started doing intermittent fasting, and I started tracking my calories, and I started doing all these things. I'm going to talk about sustainability in a second. And I knew that if I spent 10 years of my life restricting, dieting, fearing food, I wasn't going to heal my relationship with food in 30 days. I wasn't going to heal my relationship with food by listening to a podcast or watching TikTok videos. I wasn't going to end a 10-year battle with food by reading a book. I wanted to do things sustainably, so I did things sustainably. Meaning, I got the right support from someone who had past experience with binge eating that got me. This is the number one reason clients come to me. They're like, Lorna, you have past lived experience with binge eating. You're the only person that gets me. I try to explain binge eating to my therapist. They don't understand me. My nutritionist just tells me, watch your portions. Nobody gets me like you do. So I got support from someone that actually understood me. I got coaching and mentorship, meaning that if on a Tuesday I just binged, I had the ability to go to my mentor and be like, this is what happened. How can I work on my mindset? Because I know not to beat myself up after a binge, but there's guilt and there's shame and there's embarrassment and there's frustration. Like, how can I work through that? And I got the mentorship and the coaching that I specifically needed, which is why my clients come to me so that they don't have to figure out how to do it on their own. And then I was part of a community of other people who are just as committed as I was to conquering binge eating, where I felt less alone. There's so much shame around binge eating. Nobody talks about it. So you feel like I'm the outlier. You feel like I'm broken until you're actually around other people who think the same thoughts as you. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not broken. And then you see this one person and they share like, oh, I haven't binged in an entire week. And you're like, oh my gosh, like that's actually possible for me too. And then you're more inspired to take action. So I want to talk about the 3 keys to sustainably conquering binge eating. But I think having this background is really important, even about my journey. Like, you guys see me, you're like, Lorna, like, oh, you're so free around food. And like, I love how much you prioritize your health. I love how much you can take care of yourself and you eat super healthy and you don't binge anymore and you feel amazing in your own skin and you're not spending hours in the gym. You see that. But what you didn't see is me showing up for a long time, working on this, practicing not giving into my urges, changing my thoughts, leaning into the fear, investing in myself, getting the right support, shifting my mindset. When I so badly wanted to get into the all or nothing mentality, when going out for dinner or feeling bloated, I had to really shift my mindset and remind myself, like, you're not going to feel any better. You're already bloated. So eating more chocolate isn't going to make you feel good. Like, that takes work to shift your mindset. It takes work. It takes work to not give in to your urges. There were so many times when I would just say one last time. I promise this is going to be the very last binge. And it takes everything in you to say, no, this is not who I am. This is not who I am. I am going to say no to this urge. Like it takes effort. It takes you to really work on your mindset, to be committed, because anybody can be committed on day one. Day one, I'm ready to stop my binge eating. I'm so excited. I'm ready to do this. Okay, well, how about on day 10? How about on month 2? How about 6 months later? How about when you're still not feeling the best in your own skin? Can you still show up? Or are you like, oh, I feel like crap, so I'm just going to overeat tonight? How about when you're not seeing results? Where is your mind? How about after you've just overeaten? How about after you've just binged? Where does your mind go? It's the people who have the right mindset, a rock solid, badass mindset, that stay committed no matter what throughout this journey. And, this is why my programs, my signature programs, are 6 or 12 months. Because here's the thing. Like I said, anybody can be committed on day 1. Anybody can be committed for a 30-day challenge. Anybody can feel good for, a few weeks at a time. But can you stay committed after 3 months, after 6 months? Can you still stay committed even if your urges are still popping up? Can you still stay committed even though you're having a bad body image day? Maybe you see someone else conquering binge eating much faster than you. Can you stay committed in the process? This is the difference between somebody who sustainably stops binge eating and someone who goes a month maybe not binging, but then reverts back to old habits because you haven't actually worked on your mindset. You haven't actually rewired your brain. You haven't cultivated a rock solid badass mindset. You haven't, gone through challenges. I was even talking to one of my clients she's going through a lot of overwhelm right now. There's a lot of things that are overwhelming her. And I said, this is actually the best time. I'm so glad that you're inside of my coaching. She's in the academy. And I'm like, I'm so glad you're here because this is where you can actually implement a lot of the tools and you can learn how to process your emotions without using food for comfort. Because if you weren't feeling overwhelmed, let's say your circumstances were like, work wasn't stressful and, you're just at home and you're in your normal routine. Yeah, sure, you might not binge. But how about in 6 months when you're traveling? Can you still not binge? How about in 8 months when you lost a loved one? Can you still not binge? How about in 3 months from now when you're seeing family for the first time in a really long time and you're worried about what they're going to say about your body? Like, can you still stay committed throughout the process? So 3 things that you need to conquer binge eating and then stay binge free long term. Number 1, you need the brain-based tools to rewire your brain so you no longer feel a single urge. If you don't know what to do, it's going to be really hard to stop your binge eating. I remember starting to be more aware that I was binging because at the beginning I was like, I don't know what the heck is happening. I'm just like eating so much. But then I started to have awareness of like, I'm binging. Like, this is not normal. Like, not everybody just eats a bunch of food. Like, it's not normal. It's common. It's not normal. And so I started recognizing this. But I didn't know what to do to try to not give in. Like, I knew that I shouldn't give in to my urges, but I didn't know what to do. And so I kept on like beating myself up like, you gave in again. Oh, come on, you know better. But at the time, I didn't have the tools. I didn't know what to do to not give in to my urges besides try to stay busy and distract myself and drink a bunch of water and just try to not do it. Like, tell myself, don't do it. But of course, you're still going to be binging if that's what you're trying to do, because that doesn't eliminate your urges. Distracting yourself and staying busy doesn't rewire your brain. It doesn't change the way that you're thinking about food. It doesn't help you become less impulsive. It actually makes you think about food so much more. If you've ever told yourself, don't binge, you thought about binging so much more. You thought about food so much more. And it's like you become even more frustrated because you're like, I really want to. And you're telling yourself, but don't do it. And you end up giving in anyways. And so if you don't actually have the tools to stop eating when you're full, to not give in to your urges, to be able to enjoy a few cookies without binging, of course it's going to feel really challenging to stop binge eating because you don't know what to do. Right? Like if you literally don't know what to do besides distracting yourself, besides promising yourself to not do it, you're going to keep on giving in. There's a variety of different tools to not give into your urges, and I can share them. But what's actually most important is preventing your urges from popping up in the first place. This is what I mean by eliminating your urges. So number one, making every single meal, every single snack the most satisfying thing that you've eaten. When your meals, when your snacks are so satisfying, you're not impulsive. You're not in the pantry 2 seconds later grabbing a box of cookies. When you're so focused on like, I need to eat so perfectly and I'm going to have a salad for dinner, and you don't even want that, you're going to feel urgy. You're going to feel impulsive. You have to be honoring your cravings. You have to eat what it is that you actually want. How often are you at a restaurant and you see the pizza and you're like, I probably should order the salmon bowl with quinoa. And the entire time you're eating your salmon bowl with quinoa, you're like thinking about pizza. You're thinking about what you're going to have for dessert. You're thinking about what you're going to binge on when you get home, let's be honest. And then you're wondering, but why did I binge? I know exactly why. You could have prevented yourself from binging by ordering the pizza. Oh, but if I eat the pizza, then it's, oh my God, I'm going to eat so much and I'm probably going to overeat. Well, you're binging right now. So it would actually be healthier for you, and you would prevent yourself from binging if you just ordered the freaking pizza. So those are just a few. There's other things I want to talk about inside of this training. Obviously, I go more in depth in coaching and stuff like that. But do you see how preventing an urge from happening, it's going to be easier for you to not binge versus a strong urge to binge comes and now you're trying to fight against your binge. It's almost like impossible at that point because you're already impulsive. You've already decided in your mind you're going to binge. You're driving home from work and you're already decided, when I get home, I'm going to binge. You've already decided. So it doesn't matter if you, come on, don't do it. Maybe I shouldn't. You've already decided. Once you're impulsive, once an urge pops up, it's more challenging to not give in compared to what can I do to set myself up to prevent that urge from even popping up. Drop a yes in the chat if this is landing. You can have two people. One person is trying to eat super healthy and they're restricting themselves and they're saying no to their cravings and I got to eat super healthy. And then they have a strong urge come 8 o'clock at night and all they can think about is ice cream. And they're like, okay, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. That is going to be more challenging than the second person who it's, come the afternoon, they're like, yep, I enjoyed my sandwich for lunch. And I had some chocolate and I felt so satisfied. And then come the evening, they're relaxing with their husband. They're watching TV, they're relaxing. Because their urge didn't pop up. It is easier to not binge when you can prevent your binges from actually popping up in the first place. So that's the first thing, is you need to rewire your brain. You need the proper tools, right? Like somebody posted here, like interesting point, like you need to know these things. You need to know a different way other than just hope and pray I don't binge today. Let me just hope and pray that I don't binge today. That is so exhausting. And it will allow you to maybe have less binges, but you're not going to have confidence that you'll never binge again until you actually rewire your brain and eliminate your urges. And what I mean by eliminate urges is when you prevent your urges from arising in the first place, you're going to obviously not give in because you don't have an urge, right? It's the urge that causes you to binge. Well, if your urges don't pop up, you're not going to binge. And if you're not giving in and binging, you are rewiring your brain out of this habit. Versus you keep on giving into your urges one last time, you are further ingraining this habit into your brain. You want to eat what you're craving. But here's the thing, people don't understand the difference between cravings and urges. So if you are wanting, let's say, like carbs like 24/7, I guarantee that's not actually a craving. You're impulsive and you're having urges. Because your body wants to take such good care of you. Your body doesn't want to be eating, processed carbs 24/7. But you might think it's a craving, but it's actually an urge. And there's a difference. And I have other trainings that talks about the difference. So the first thing that you need is the brain-based tools, right? I've created my root and rewire process. This has helped hundreds and thousands of clients from around the world. You need to know the brain-based tools to rewire your brain so that your urges no longer pop up. This is not about hoping I don't binge, fingers crossed, hopefully I don't do it tonight. I got the weekend to myself, hopefully I don't binge. There's no hoping and praying. There's an effective solution. There's actually a process that you can follow where every single day you're becoming less impulsive with food. Every single day your urges are becoming less intense. That's the first thing that you need. The second thing is mentorship and coaching. In the academy, we actually do these every single week where we actually come on Zoom and you actually get mentorship and coaching with me. Because it's one thing to know what to do, and it's another to implement what you know. I can sit here and tell you to not give in to your urges. I can tell you come 8 o'clock at night when you really want to use food as a reward to not do it. I can tell you to, be positive if you've just overeaten. I can tell you all those things. But it's one thing to intellectually know that, and then it's another to actually implement it. And what I see for so many people is there's a hard time implementing the tools. It's like, Lorna, I know that I shouldn't beat myself up and I've just overeaten, but I can't help it. Lorna, I know that I shouldn't come 9 o'clock at night, go into the pantry. Like, I know that because then I go to bed and I end up going to bed so much later, and then I wake up still full and bloated from last night's binge. Like, I know, but like, why do I keep on doing it? Because knowing the tools isn't enough. You need a mentor like myself that can help you actually implement the tools. And I don't mean like, let me hold your hand. I don't mean that. What I mean is there could be blocks in the way. So I had a client, and inside of my programs, I share like 10 tangible tools, like multiple tools for when the urge comes on that you can use to help you to not give in, right? Obviously, we want to prevent our urges from arising in the first place, but there's also tools that you can do in the moment to help you to not give in, right? And so she's like, Lorna, I know all the tools. Why? I don't want to use the tools. I don't want to use the tools. I know what to do. Why am I still giving in? And I had this conversation on a Zoom coaching call. And I said a few things. Number one, when you see using the tool as like, if I use this tool, that means I won't binge. Why are you going to want to use the tool? You're not going to want to use the tool because what do you want? You want to binge. So if you're telling yourself, let's say, I'm going to use breath work. I'm going to use the timer method, right? Let's say you're using the tools and you tell yourself, go and do some breath work so that you don't binge. You're not going to want to use the tool because you want to binge. But if you see, again, you shift your mindset, you rewire your brain to say, I am using this tool to help me regulate my nervous system, to help me become less impulsive with food. I could eat if I really wanted to, but I'm using this tool to ground myself, to regulate my nervous system so that even if I do go and eat, I am way less impulsive. You're more inclined to use the tool. You're more inclined to use the tool if you have that type of mindset. And that blew my client's mind. She was like, holy moly, that makes so much sense because right now I don't want to use the tool because that means I'm telling myself I can't binge and I want to. No. You got to shift your mindset. That was the first breakthrough that she had. The second thing that I told her as well too, though, is the reason that you don't want to use the tool is because you don't want to give up binge eating. You want to stop, but there is also a part of you that loves the comfort, loves the familiarity, loves the safety that binge eating brings you. I was thinking the same thing. I know breath work 100% works on me, but I didn't want to stop binging. Yeah. But again, and that's just even like one tool. You know what I mean? Like there's so many other tools. But again, this is a pure example of like, I know what to do, but like, why am I not doing it? Is because again, there's so many mindset things. And this is why coaching and mentorship is so important. This is why clients hire me. This is why people come into my programs, because they're like, I know what to do. And then they feel so frustrated until we actually have these conversations on a Zoom call. And I'm like, I know exactly what you can do differently. This is exactly why you know what to do, but you're still giving into your urges. And so with this particular client, I really helped her heal her love-hate relationship. She didn't want to let go of binge eating. Like she did, but she also didn't. And that, like, everybody experiences that. So I had to work through that. I had to really shift her identity out of binge eating to remind herself that she didn't need binge eating in her life. She was so safe to process and feel her emotions without food. She didn't need food when she can add more pleasure into her life. And when you add more pleasure into your life, you're experiencing so much joy on a regular basis that you don't need to self-soothe with food, like all of these things. So the second thing is you need mentorship. you need coaching. And clients particularly come to work with me because they're like, Lorna, I know you get it. Again, they're like, you have past lived experience with binge eating. Like this makes so much sense. And so in the academy, you come on Zoom every single week. I tell you exactly what you specifically need to do. Yes, everybody, who binges kind of has similarities, right? Like strong urges, food thoughts, eating past fullness. There's a few similarities. But from one person to the next, two people need a different strategy. One of my clients can eat very healthy all day. Come the evening, that's when she uses food to comfort herself. The coaching, the mentorship, the tools that I'm going to give to that client is going to be very different than, let's say, someone else who is dealing with a lot of stress and overwhelm at work. Yeah, there are similarities, but they're also very different. And this is why you need personalized coaching and mentorship. Again, this is why in the academy, it's like every single week you're coming on Zoom calls with me. I tell you this specific strategy that you specifically need. Because if you're able to eat super healthy all day, but you're binging at night, okay, well, let's see. Are you taking breaks throughout the day? Are you adding pleasure throughout the day? Or are you running around like a chicken with your head cut off? And then you're wondering why at the end of the day, you're using food to self-soothe. Well, we got to work on that. But someone else who is a stay-at-home mom of 4, or someone else who is in the office, like they need different tools and strategies, right? And so, again, having the tools is important, but implementing the tools that you specifically need are going to change your life. And again, inside of the academy, we do this every single week. And also, something that's actually really cool inside of the academy, this is the only program I have that offers this. In between our calls, you actually get to voice message me and text me in our group for in-the-moment coaching. You don't have to wait for the next coaching call that happens on the next week. Let's say it's Monday. And, I'll give you an example of one of my clients. She's like, I had chickpeas for lunch. And then she was making a cookie dough smoothie later on. And she was like, I got in my head because I had chickpeas later on. And she was like, it's beans. Like, why the heck am I doubting myself? But I want to work through this. It's like, if I have bread for breakfast, but should I have the bread with the chili? But I had bread for breakfast. Should I have bread for with my chili later on? Like, I'm kind of overthinking. How do I work through this? She posts in the group. I give her feedback right away. Hey, this is what I want you to think about it. Here's how to quiet the food noise. Here's how to be more confident in your food choices. Here's how to be able to confidently have bread with your chili at dinner without worrying about the fact that you had it for breakfast with some avocado toast. Boom, shifts her mindset, prevents a binge from happening, and she doesn't even have to wait until our next call next week. This is the level of support that I provide inside of the academy. So that's the second part. The first part is you need the tools. The second part, you need mentorship and coaching. Okay, so you got the brain-based tools to rewire your brain to eliminate your urges. And then you have coaching with me, mentorship, where I actually provide you personalized coaching so you know exactly what you specifically need to do to eliminate your urges, effortlessly stop when you're full, and quiet the food noise in your mind. Now, the third thing that you need is you need to be part of our badass community to feel less alone. I talked about this. There's so much shame, guilt, judgment when it comes to binging. And maybe you even feel frustrated where you're like, I am like so good at my job. I'm so successful at my job. if my coworkers found out that I was binging, I'd be so embarrassed because like they see me as like this super successful person. They always come to me whenever they don't know what to do. It's like they come straight to me because they know that I do a good job and they know I know my shit. But like if they ever found out that I was binging, oh my God, I'd be so embarrassed. So you hold it in. You don't have people to talk to. You can't tell your partner, oh, yeah, I just ate an entire jar of peanut butter. Your partner's not going to understand. Your partner is going to say, well, just maybe like don't do that. Yeah, I know that. Well, just don't buy the peanut butter. Yeah, thank you, but no thank you. Right? It's like, it's frustrating when you're trying to explain binge eating to somebody who's never binged a day in their life. You literally want to rip your freaking hair out because you're like, you just don't understand. But then you're part of our badass community and it's like everybody understands exactly what you're going through. They're like, yep, I did that with the peanut butter. Yep, straight from the jar with the tape. Yep, I've done that. Yeah, I know. I've had thoughts too. If I had bread for breakfast, like, should I really have it for dinner? I've been there. Like, not feeling alone will change everything for you. And, especially our badass community, everyone's so positive. Everyone's so driven and committed, and conquering binge eating is a very high top priority. And so everybody's showing up powerfully for themselves. Yes, it's like telling someone depressed to just be happy. It's like, it doesn't work like that, So yeah, this is why it's so important to be around other people who get you, right? So, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. just saw the comment here and I just lost my train of thought. But you need a community because, so let's say, for example, on our coaching call, okay, one person is like, I feel amazing in my own skin. And, I honestly can't remember the last time that I binged. Someone else is going to be like, that's possible for me. Wow. Thank you for creating evidence because I didn't really believe in myself. But the fact that like you're using Lorna's root and rewire process and you haven't binged in months and you just had a baby and you feel better in your own skin. Oh my gosh, like that can actually happen for me. And then that person is more inclined to show up even more powerfully, to not give in to their next urge because they have evidence. And vice versa, you can see someone crushing it and get excited, but also maybe you're feeling really good. And then somebody else maybe is getting in their head or maybe they're still overeating. And then it's like that person who's maybe overeating still, or maybe they're still giving into their urges, they're looking at you like, thank you for sharing that you're feeling really good and you have been able to not give into your urges and you actually went out for dinner and you got your sweet potato fries and you are honoring your cravings and, you prevented a binge. Like, thank you for showing me what's possible. You can't have these conversations anywhere else. You can't have these conversations anywhere else. You can't hang out with your girlfriends and have these types of conversations. Your partner will look at you like you have 25 eyeballs. Right? It's like I've had clients come to me, they're like, Lorna, my therapist doesn't even understand. They're like, I'm so glad I'm part of your badass community because, man, like these people get me. You freaking get me. I don't have to try to explain binge eating to you, like you just get it. So do you see how there's so much more to it? Like, but it's so much closer than you realize. Like, you guys, I'm telling you, it is so much closer than you recognize. Like, I get so fired up because when you have the tools to rewire your brain, so your urges stop popping up, we talked about that. When you have a mentorship with me, right? And you're not just like, I know what to do, but like, why am I not doing it? You actually are implementing the tools. And then you're part of a badass community that's going to cheer you on, that's supporting you, that's helping you feel less alone, that's reminding you that you're a freaking badass who can do hard things like conquer binge eating. It is inevitable that you're going to conquer. This is not, let me join a 30-day program. Let me join a little challenge. That's not going to stop your binge eating. And you know that. You're not even interested in that. I actually had someone, she's like, Lorna, the reason I actually started working with you and joined your 6-month program is because I'm so glad that you do things sustainably. I'm so glad that your program is actually 6 months because I'm not interested in a quick fix. I don't want to join a 30-day program. I don't want a self-paced program where they teach you some tools, but then I have to figure out how to implement them. And I can't even talk to a coach. Like, I want to be able to ask my questions. I want to be able to be part of a badass community. I want to be able to end this for good. And if you want sustainable results, you got to commit long term. 6 months is literally nothing. Like 6 months is literally not even a long time. A year is not even a long time. For you to spend the rest of your life easily feeling so free around food, like going on spontaneous dinner dates with your husband and get so excited about it. And, being in a bathing suit and loving the skin that you're in and traveling with your family, with your kids and making memories for the rest of your life. Committing to a year is worth it. Committing to 6 months is worth it. You've got the whole rest of your life where food's not the first thing on your mind, where you can have a better intimate life with your partner. You're more present and calm with your children. You don't lash out on them or get snappy. That's worth it. Oh, that's heck, yes, that's so worth it. So I created the Academy. It's a 6-month program. This is really for the badass, you, I'm talking to you, where like you're committed, you're driven, you're ambitious, you give 100% in everything that you do, and it drives you absolutely crazy that food still has so much control over you. You're like, I'm so good at my job, like I'm so ambitious, like I have drive, I'm committed, like why can't I freaking stop my binge eating? I'm going to help you make conquering binge eating another success in your life. So with the Academy, it's 6 months. There is course-based trainings to help you learn all of the root and rewire process. So how to actually rewire your brain to eliminate your urges, how to actually respect your body like the badass that you are who can easily stop when you're full, how to quiet the food noise in your mind, how to be able to easily eat what you're craving, have a few pieces of chocolate and just simply move on with your day, how to be able to have a crazy stressful day and come the end of the day, you actually know how to relax instead of going into the pantry for some cookies to make yourself feel better. So you have all the brain-based tools. You know what to do when an urge comes on. You know how to process your emotions without using food. You know how to feel like an unstoppable badass in your own skin. You know how to easily stop when you're full. No matter how good the food is, if you're on vacation, if you're, out for dinner and maybe these are like special foods that you don't have often, you know how to stop when you're full. So it's the brain-based tools, you have the tools. And then every single week, you come on Zoom with me, and this is where I actually provide personalized coaching. And this is where I talk about the knowledge is not enough. You actually need to implement the tools. And this is where we can actually chat back and forth. And I could, tell you exactly what you need to do, the mindset shifts, the identity shifts that you need to make so that every single week you have confidence that you're becoming less impulsive. Every single week you have confidence that you can easily not give into your urges and eventually they stop popping up. Of course, you have the in-the-moment support in between the weeks. So you don't have to wait till our coaching call. Like Tuesday afternoon, you a thought pops up in your mind. You're like, Lorna, how do I navigate the situation? I'm super overwhelmed right now. How do I not use food for comfort? I'll tell you in the moment. We also actually do monthly breathwork sessions. Something I don't really talk about a lot, but we do monthly breathwork sessions. I'm also a certified breathwork facilitator. And so every single month there's different themes, whether it's body image, self-love, becoming less impulsive, feeling more grounded, feeling more calm. We do breathwork sessions every single month to help you become less impulsive with food. And then you're a part of our incredible badass community. So you never feel alone. You never feel alone. You feel so freaking fired up every single time you experience a win. You shared in our group chat, people celebrating you like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then you feel like a freaking badass, and then you do it again. And before you know it, it's like, I haven't binged in a month. I haven't binged in 2 months. And then you actually stay so much more committed because you have the tools, you have the support, you have the mentorship, you have the community. It's literally everything you need to not just have a few good days with food here and there. It's called your Binge Free Life Academy for a reason. I'm not interested in helping you have a binge-free month. I'm not interested in that. Like, that's great. Cool. You've probably already done that. I'm the mentor that's going to help you have binge-free months that happen on repeat. I'm going to help you have so much confidence. It doesn't matter if you're traveling the world, you're baking at 10 o'clock at night, you're home alone, you won't binge because you've actually done things properly and you've rewired your brain to eliminate your urges. If you're just interested in maybe a few good days with food, I'm not the mentor for you. If you want just like a binge-free month, nope, I'm not interested in that. I'm here for the people that want to do things sustainably. You're committed. This is a top priority for you. You want to be able to ask your questions. Like, you're not interested in a self-paced program, a 30-day challenge. You're like, yeah, no, thank you. Like, I want to change my life. I want to be there for my children. I want to be present. I want to have a better intimate life with my husband. I want to step into the woman that I know that I'm meant to be. I want to live the life that God actually has created for me because I know binging isn't part of it. It doesn't even feel like the real me. I don't even feel like this body is actually mine. If that sounds like you got to be inside of the academy. So you can message me the word academy and I'll send you all of the details for this program. The price of my academy is increasing this Sunday. So if you resonated with everything that I shared with this and you're like, yes, this sounds like the answers to my prayers, like, oh, yes, this sounds amazing. You want more information? You can message me academy and I'll send you the details. Like I said, the price of the academy is increasing on Sunday. So if you're ready to conquer binge eating, you're wanting to do things sustainably, you want to do things long term, you want to feel like an unstoppable badass in your own skin, you want to be able to never think about food, you want to have confidence that you can stop binge eating and then stay binge free for the rest of your life, I'm the mentor for you. So just message me the word academy and I'll send you all the details, and I cannot wait to have you inside. This program is so special to me. You know, I get very close with these clients. Like, I learn about your story. I know the exact shift that you need to make. We're talking on a weekly basis. It's very intimate. It's very personalized. It's the people in my academy that message me years later. They're like, Lorna, I'm still binge free. And I'm like, yep, I know. Because of the support, because of all the tools. Like, yeah, we do things sustainably here. So I cannot wait to coach you inside, and it's just going to be phenomenal. So message me if you feel called. Have a beautiful rest of your day, you guys, and we'll see you soon. Okay. Bye, guys.